Namaste, dear students. As usual, first of all, I want to welcome you to our English class of grade 10. I hope today also you are ready with your necessary materials, and they are your English textbook, notebook, and pen or pencil. Are you ready with them? Good. And in our today's class, we are going to learn something new on the writing skill. So can you guess? Can you tell me? What are we going to learn? Okay, we are going to learn to interpret or to describe the graphic text. Yes, you are right. And underwriting to writing an essay. All right, presenting our opinions. Now, without any delay, I just like to start our today's class. So all of you be ready, okay? And you have to be very active because you have to write something in your notebook. So are you ready for it? Good. If so, now I want to go to writing 1. So can you tell me now what is there under writing 1? Even you can check in your pages. Have you found it? Okay, don't worry, I am here. And I just want to show you what is there under writing 1. Have you seen it now? All right. So what do you see here? First of all, you have to read the instruction. What does the instruction say to us? Can you tell me? Yes, you are right. The instruction says to us, study the graph and chart below and write an interpretation of each of them. Now you can see, what is this? Is this, let's say, graph or chart, or what do you think? Yes, it is bar graph, okay? You can find here bar and it is a graph. Now here the main concern is that what we see, then we have to describe it. We have to interpret it, okay? Do you know how to interpret, how to describe this type of graphic text? Have you ever practiced? I hope you practiced it in your junior classes, like in grade 9, grade 8, so it's not new to you. Anyway, we are going to learn to interpret it today, okay? So is it interesting to you? Good. Now, what is the data here? Can you tell me now? See, Nepali student migration, okay? Nepali students migration, you can find the year here, like 2009 /10 to 2018/19, okay? And you can see here students, number of students here. You can find year like 2009 and 10, how many students migrate, okay? Then in 2010 and 11, how many students migrated here again? Likewise, you can see. So whatever you see here, you have to describe, you have to interpret. This is what we are going to learn today. So now, if I ask you to tell me orally, can you tell me now shortly? What do you see there? How do you interpret it to me? Can you try? Good. You can tell me more. Oh yes, that's right. Now, I just want to show you an example. Okay, this is how you have to describe. This is how you have to interpret. All right. Now, this is an example for you, and you can interpret it in detail also. Okay, this is just an example. So, I want to show it to you, and later you can again interpret in your own words. Okay. So, first of all, let me read it, and you can also read together. The given bar graph presents the condition of Nepali students' migration in the years 2009 and 10 to 2018 and 2019. This is what information given here, okay? So what do we call for this part? You have to think and you have to tell me, okay? And then this is how you can do. 26,948 students migrated in the year 2009 and 10. If you see this bar graph, which represents the year 2009 and 10, and the number of students given here on the top of the bar, okay? So this is what we can see here. So whatever we have seen here, same thing is described, same thing is interpreted here, okay? Now then 11,912 students migrated in 2010 and 11. So if you see this bar again, okay, this represents 2000, let's say 10 and 11, and you can see the data here. So the data shows that 11,912. Okay, so it is whatever we have seen, same thing is written here. So the data are given here and we have written in language form. Okay, then migrated in 2010 and 11, which is less than the previous year. So if you compare between these two bars, okay, 2009 and 10 and 2010 and 11, if you compare between these two bars, then you can find the difference of Nepali migrating students here. Okay, in this year we can see more students, but this year we can see less students. This is how you have to compare and write down in your interpretation. Are you getting me? Good. Then let me continue. It looks that the number was not greatly changed in number of migrants in 2011 and 12. And if you see 2010 and 11, and if you see 2011 and 12, see the number is not that much difference, okay, in comparison to the year 2009 and 10. So it looks similar, you know. So this is what you have to notice and you have to write down there. Then you can say it is a difference about 2000 students, about, you know, not exactly about, but the number seems to be increasing from 2012 and 13 to 2018 and 19 without any decrease in number. Now after that year, if you look at the bar graphs, then you can find that the number of students increasing year by year. And if you look at the bar of 2018 and 19, the very tall one, you know, so it means that the number is very big. This is what you have to compare and write down in your interpretation. So let me continue reading. It goes up and up in number and reaches 63,259, which is the highest number in comparison to the number in the year 2009 and 10. So if you look at these two, the beginning one and then the last one given in this bar graph, okay, you can find a vast difference, a big difference, you know. This is what you have to compare. Then now you can find, okay, it shows that the trend of Nepali student migration is big, and we can also say that it can create a scarcity of brainy people in the country. So this is how. Now here this is just an example, so you can compare between these bars also. Okay, so this is what I want to give you the task that you have to do in your free time at your home. Okay, it means that I just want to share you that how we have to interpret, how we have to describe the graphic text. So are you getting me? Good. Now my point is, see these lines. The given bar graph presents the condition of Nepali students migration in the years 2009 and 10 to 2018 and 2019. So up to here. So what do we call for this part? Can you tell me now? So it means, does the interpretation have any parts? What do you think? Yes, definitely there are parts within this interpretation also. So what do we call for the first part? Can you tell me now? Okay, tell me once again. Oh yes, some of you are right, some of you are not exactly, okay. So for these lines, you can say introduction. So first of all, while interpreting any graphic text, what we have to do, you know, first of all, we have to introduce the graphic text. What does that particular graphic text say to us? Okay, and in this case, see, it says us about Nepali students migration from 2009 and 10 to 2018 and 19. So this is introduction part, introductory part. Okay, now then you can see this middle part, which we have already read also. So what do we call for this part? Can you tell me? What is it? Now you are so smart, you know. Yes, after introduction, we need to have, let's say, description or interpretation. Okay, this is the main part. This is the body part of our interpretation as we have in essay writing. So essay writing also introduction, body, and I don't want to say, okay. Likewise here also introduction, then main body is called description or interpretation, and then finally again once again read these lines. It shows that the trend of Nepali student migration is big, and we can also say that it can create a scarcity of brainy people in the country. So this part is called, can you tell me now? Yes, you are right. This is called conclusion. So from this, our format of interpretation is there should be three parts, okay, within a paragraph, or you can write down more than one paragraph or two paragraphs, no problem, according to your necessity, all right. But at least there should be introductory part, body part, and concluding part. You should not forget this one. And in your conclusion part, what do we need to write down? After comparing and contrasting the graphic text, then we have to present our one opinion as a conclusion. For example, here you can see it shows that the trend of Nepali student migration is big. This is what we can find the fact here, and based on this one we can say, we can also say that it can create a scarcity of brainy people in the country. It means that if all educated people go abroad, then the country won't have those people. So brainy people will be lacking in the country. So this is interpreter's view as a conclusion here. So are you with me? Have you got me? Good. This is how you have to do. I think you find it an easy job, Now after this one, again, I want to show you another graphic text, that is, so what do we call for this chart? Yes, you are right, pie chart, okay. Now again, read the instruction and try to understand what does the instruction say to us. Have you finished reading? Good. Now, the instruction says to us, distribution of population of Kathmandu metropolitan in terms of languages based on the population census of 2011, okay. So you can find this is a pie chart, and you can find here number of different language speakers, okay, in Kathmandu metropolitan city, and this is based on census of 2011. And here also, like our previous bar graph, you have to describe, you have to interpret, you have to see, and what you see there, you have to just write in language by comparing and contrasting, okay. So can you do it now? Okay, you can just try, Start please. Are you writing? Okay, good. Now you can see Nepali speakers, okay, this big one with blue color is Nepali language speakers. You can find here 7,570, okay, the data given here, and percentage you can find here, all right. So this blue part is Nepali speaking, then this orange part is Newari speaking, this is how. Okay, now you can tell me shortly, orally. You all try please. Well done. Now I want to show you an example for this interpretation too, okay. So same thing you can find here, see. The pie chart reveals a distribution of population of Kathmandu metropolitan in terms of languages based on the population census of 2011. So here, whatever the introduction is given here, same thing is written here. So while interpreting, first of all, we should know what the graphic text is about. So if you write it down and if I read it, I should know what does it say to us. That is what we call introduction. So if you don't write these lines, at that time, and if you start just comparing and contrasting, I may not get your idea what the graphic text is about. The reader may not get. There can be a confusion for the readers, That's why we have to introduce the graphic text. Are you getting me? Good. Then again, same thing. See, description, the body, or you can say interpretation. According to the chart, 61.26% people speak Nepali and the total number is 59,770. Okay. After it, the second largest number is Newar and it carries 19%. And the number is 1,85,330. See, this is what you can find here. Percent you can find here and the number you can find here. Then there are 54,109 people who speak Tamang, which becomes 5.55% in total. Maithili has its fourth position, which is 2.82%, and the number is 27,521. 17,608 people speak Hindi, and it is 1.16% in total. Similarly, 15,621 people speak Bhojpuri. There are less people who speak Gurung in comparison to Bhojpuri. 11,319 people speak Magar, 10,173 people speak Sherpa, and 44,239 people speak other languages. The languages are not mentioned here. Okay. It shows that the majority of people speak Nepali in Kathmandu metropolitan. It can be said that people have preserved their mother tongues in the metropolitan. So this is what? This is just an example, and you can again compare and contrast and interpret in detail in your free time. Okay. So here also the same thing you can find. The first 2-3 lines show us, again, see, these lines show us introduction. So if we read this line first, we can understand that the graphic text is about this thing. The graphic text is about that thing, So clearly we can understand this is a distribution of population of Kathmandu metropolitan in terms of languages, okay, language speaking, and based on the data of population census of 2011. And if you go to the middle part, then it is a detailed description of what we can see in this graphic text. And generally, in this type of interpretation, we have to compare and contrast, okay? And this is what we call description or interpretation. And finally, you can see these lines. See, it shows that the majority of people speak Nepali in Kathmandu. This is what we can see from our comparison, okay? Then you can write down, this is our opinion. See, it can be said that people have preserved their mother tongues in the metropolitan, and these days you can find people like to speak English, and the majority of people speak Nepali. Yet we can find there are many other communities who speak their own mother tongues. It's a matter of happiness for us because preserving our own languages, So this is how you can present your opinion as a conclusion. So have you got the idea? Good. This is how you have to describe or interpret any graphic text. Okay? Dear students, now after this, I just like to give you tips for interpreting graphic text. Please write it down in your notebook. Are you ready with your notebook and pen or pencil? Good. Then see, first of all, what you have to do. Observe the given graphic text and understand it. First of all, you have to study. You have to observe the given graphic text. Okay? Then you have to deeply go through it so that you can understand what it is about. Okay? Have you got this point? So first of all, study the graphic text and then go deeply and find out what the graphic text is about. This is what we call understanding. Without understanding, we cannot interpret. Then begin your writing properly, like, see, the above diagram, pie chart, line graph, diagram, etc. shows, you can use this sort of words, shows, reveals, presents, displays, illustrates, there are many words which you can prefer yourself, Or you can say, according to the given chart, bar graph, pie chart, line graph, this is how you can begin your interpretation. This is how any suitable beginning should be there. Okay, these are some examples for you. Then give a suitable title to your description or interpretation. You are suggested to give before starting your interpretation. If you give their suitable title, that will be better. Okay, so if we see the title, then we can understand, oh, the text is about, Then use common vocabulary in your interpretation, and generally we have to use common vocabulary in our description or interpretation because the readers should understand. The readers should not be confusing, okay? They have to understand well. They have to get the main ideas of the graphic text. That's why you are suggested to prefer common vocabulary so that everyone can understand. Then next, generally use present tense. You can use other tenses if they are necessary. For example, you can use past tense to describe the past data and future tense for any future events or data. So sometimes if we have those sort of data of representing past time or future time, at that time we are free to use, but generally we use present tense. Okay. Next one, you can present your opinion as a conclusion at last, but do not exaggerate your writing. See, in those two interpretations, you have seen the conclusion. But in the name of writing conclusions, you are not allowed to exaggerate. Do you know the meaning of exaggerate? Means do not write unnecessary things. Don't write many more things than the necessity. So just based on the graphic text, what is necessary within 1 or 2 lines, that is what you have to give conclusion. But don't write whatever you like. Don't write more and more, So that does not sound good. So have you got it? Good job. Now, your interpretation should have introduction, description, and conclusion. These are the parts of interpretation. Description. Don't forget it, like writing an essay. Okay, so I hope you might have written these tips together in your notebook. Please study them in your free time and try to practice. Is that okay? Good. Now we are going to another section again, that is writing 2. And can you tell me what is there under writing 2? Oh yes, you have known about it, and that is, so read this instruction, then everything will be clear to you. So what does the instruction say to us? All of you read now. Okay, good. Now the instruction says to us, see, a large number of youths and professionals leave Nepal and migrate abroad each year. Write an essay expressing your opinion about the impacts of such migration. Also include suggestions and solutions to the problems caused by migration. Now here, these days you can see in our country, many youths and professionals like to go abroad, And at that time, there may be scarcity of brainy people, as we have already discussed in the graphic text also. Now you have to write down essay. Okay, and what is the essay about? Now it is expressing your opinion about the impacts of such migration. Also includes suggestion and solution. So you have to give their suggestions. What can be possible solutions? These things you have to include in your essay writing. Now you have to be ready with your notebook and pen or pencil because you have to write down this essay. We can improve our writing by writing one day. Okay, so we are learning writing skill. So are you ready to write an essay right now? Good. If so, first of all, what do you do while writing an essay? What do? You just take out a sheet of paper and you just start writing. And sometimes you bite your pen, sometimes you put your hand on your head and just think, but you won't have any ideas to write down in your notebook. Is that the problem? Yes. So to make it easier, you have to follow some steps of writing essay. So it becomes easier for you. So do you want to practice these steps now? Good job. Now, first of all, I want to give you idea. So the first step of writing essay, if you want to write on any topic, first of all you have to think, and whatever the ideas come in your mind, you just write it down in your notebook or in your sheet of paper. Please, what do you find? What do you get the ideas about these impacts of such migration? What words, what phrases, what clauses that come in your mind? You just write down in your sheet of paper. Are you writing? How many points have you written? Don't worry, though there should not be the proper order of the word. You should not write grammatically correct sentences, okay? So are you writing? Good. Maybe you might have written this sort of words. For example, these words come in my mind. Go from one place to another place, go abroad for study, for job opportunity, okay? Then work for other country, investment becomes useless, should create good environment. For example, you might have got these points in your mind, maybe some more points. So whatever the ideas you have got in your mind, please note down like this in your sheet of paper. I hope you might have finished writing. So after writing this one, what you have to do? Now develop your points into sentences. Please start doing now. For example, you can develop this go from one place to another place into a sentence. Go abroad for study in a sentence. For job opportunities in a sentence. Work for other country in a sentence. Investment becomes useless in a sentence. Should create good environment in a sentence. And if you have some more points in sentences, you can now develop. And don't worry, right now also your sentences can not have proper order. Your sentences can be wrong. You might not be able to write grammatically correct sentences. Forget these all things, but just develop your points into sentences. How are you doing? Okay, good. How many sentences have you made so far? Wow, so many sentences. You are so smart, you know. Now after doing this one, see, these are the points, okay. So after, see, country cannot develop, slowly develop, lack of capable manpower in the country, these things you can. After this, what I have told you, you just develop into, let's say, sentences. And if you write sentence by sentence, that becomes a paragraph, okay. So for example, your second step can be like this. Let me read it and you can also read now. Migration refers to going from one place to another place to live for various purposes such as higher studies, job opportunities, better facilities, etc. These days, majority of youths and professionals seem to go abroad each year. They go abroad for many purposes, but it seems that they go for foreign employment more than other purposes. Now, here the writer of this essay is focused on about foreign job opportunities rather than other, let's say, facilities or purposes, because it is about expressing opinions, you know. So the writer wants to express his or her opinion about foreign employment. And don't forget the topic, okay? Impacts of migration of youths and professionals. Now, second paragraph you can see, nowadays, employment is not limited to any particular boundary and people move around the globe. And Nepal is also not an exception for it. Some countries hire the workers from other countries, which is beneficial to both of them. A large number of youths and professionals go other countries to seek job opportunities. For a developing country like Nepal, it has both advantages and disadvantages. Okay. Later, after writing developing paragraphs like this one, if you are not satisfied with the proper order of the sentence, you can change the position of the sentence. If you think that the second paragraph can be in the first position, then you can exchange the positions of the paragraphs also. This first paragraph can be in your second paragraph position and second paragraph can be also in the first paragraph. This is what we call writing the first draft of essay. Okay, do you like to do these all steps? So if you do, then it becomes easier for you. Now again another paragraph you can see. Please read with me together. It's interesting, okay? Foreign employment has been the center of attraction for Nepali youths for many years. Since youths dream of a secure future through foreign employment, it may be easy for skilled people, but for unskilled ones, it is a very difficult. It is said that they are compelled to work in dirty, difficult, and dangerous conditions. 3Ds, dirty, difficult, and dangerous conditions. A dark part of foreign employment is every year thousands of youths lose their life during their work. It is really a shocking fact for us. There are other problems too. They do not get the job and salary according to their agreement. Skilled and trained manpower appropriate for a particular job are not available easily. It is true that foreign employment is not safe, secure, and well managed, especially for unskilled workers. Dear students, this is our first draft. Okay, there can be many grammatical mistakes, there can be some spelling problem, mechanics, there can be many problems, but in your final writing you have to go through all and you have to write down perfect essay. Okay, so now these are ideas for you, so you can read the next paragraph again. Rights of the workers are worldwide concern. In the context of Nepal, a lot of youths go to abroad in search of jobs, but there is a lack of skilled manpower in our own country. There are a lot of opportunities in agricultural sector and other technical field. Despite being an agricultural country, Nepal imports foodstuffs heavily from other neighboring countries. Why are the youths not attracted to agriculture? Most of the farmers are very poor and they have many problems in this field. Okay, there are many problems in this field. Lack of irrigation, manure, fertilizers, equipments, modern equipments, okay, etc. Discourage youths to involve in farming. The government can play a crucial role to promote commercial farming, which can uplift their economic status so that the farmers and country both are benefited. Okay, this is a roughly, let's say, first draft. Many mistakes you can find. I just want to show you like this one. Okay, don't worry with the mistakes. We can improve ourselves by making a lot of mistakes. But if you don't dare to write, you never improve your writing. Okay, now likewise again you can read this paragraph. See, there are many advantages of foreign employment. It has played a very important role to support Nepali economy. Somehow it has also solved unemployment problem. There is a need of legal, technical, and professional training for the people so that they can meet the challenges and can take advantages of opportunities available in the market. Technically trained, skilled, and competent people can compete with each other and secure their better future. But if the youths go abroad for job, how can their one country develop? It should be minimized as much as possible, and youth should be encouraged to work in their own country. Now, final paragraph. What is final paragraph about? See, the government should manage foreign employment properly. The youth should use their skills in their own country. Here is on, okay. So you can find mistakes, and in your final writing you can correct, okay. After they return from foreign employment, it can create job opportunities and can contribute in government revenue. It is both challenge and opportunity, but it should be utilized as opportunity as much as possible. Okay, this is the writer's view, that it should be managed and utilized, and how you want to present your opinion, it's up to you. So this is the first draft that I just like to share with you, and based on this one you can write down again in your free time at your home as a final one. Okay, so have you got the idea? And I am not talking about how to change paragraph, why to change paragraph, because so far you have written many essays. Okay, so always we change the paragraph when we introduce new idea to support our topic. Okay, then we write other supporting details to support the main idea in its paragraph. And dear students, don't forget, in conclusion, we should not introduce new idea. Instead, we have to draw some ideas from the paragraphs and write the conclusion. So these are not new things to you, as you have already written many essays. Okay. So after this one again, I just like to give you the tips for writing essay. Please note them down in your notebook. And the tips are getting ideas that you have already practiced. It's a very interesting also. See, what you have to do in this stage, bring ideas related to the topic in the mind. See, that you have done, okay, about migration. Then what ideas come to your mind, you write down. This is what. Then what do you have to do? Enlist all the ideas in a sheet of paper. Yes, you have enlisted those points in your sheet of paper. So if you keep only in your mind, then you may forget after a while. So it's better to note down those ideas in a sheet of paper. So later you can see, and you can some you can select, some you can erase if you find some points are irrelevant. This is what you have to do. Then in the third stage, prepare the first draft. I have shown you the first draft, okay? There are many mistakes you have to find out. There are many wrong things, grammatically, maybe structurally. You have to find out, and then you have to correct. That is what we call prepare the first draft. Then what do you have to do? Delete, omit, replace, and exchange the place of words, phrases, and sentences if necessary. This is what, after writing the first draft, you have to edit, okay? So what things are unnecessary? What are wrongs there? These things you have to do. And then finally, you have to check your grammar and correct if necessary. This also comes under editing. All right. And at last, write the final essay. So dear students, if you follow these steps for many times, then it will be easier for you to write an essay. And later, it will become your habit to write on a particular topic. So I suggest you, please follow these steps while writing an essay for some essays, okay? For 10 essays, for up to 20 essays, and after that one, then you will be able to write your fine essay on the given topics. So have you got it? Good job. If so, now we have project work. Work in groups, study the birds and animals that migrate to or from your places, and prepare a report on migratory birds, animals of our locality. Include the following points in your report. These points you can find in your English textbook. Please do it in your free time. Then please go to extra bit given at the end of the unit. So here you can find different types of adjectives. Now I just like to discuss only what is adjective. See, an adjective modifies a noun or pronoun by providing descriptive or specific detail. Adjectives are usually used before the noun or pronoun they modify. For example, brown bear, tall building, rich man. See, these words written with blue ink are adjectives. So very clearly given in this section in your textbook. Please read them and practice them in your free time. Okay? Have you got me? Good job. If so, now finally I have a task for you that you have to do at your home in your free time. And this is interpret the following pie chart. Now you can find favorite subjects of different students like science, English, French, and mathematics. Please interpret it as we have practiced in our today's class. Now we have come to the end of our today's class. I hope you might have enjoyed and learned to interpret the graphic text and write an essay. Please practice them in your free time. It's all for today. Have a wonderful time. Goodbye.